The moral growth of a great nation requires both reflection and observation in order to appreciate it. I do believe that we are trying and we have been pushing to make sure that the lives of many people change in Kenya. In the year 1998, poverty declaration in Khartoum, it was saying that regrettably over the past decade, human conditions, almost all Africans, has deteriorated calamitously. Real incomes of almost all households and families declined sharply. Malnutrition has risen massively and food production fallen relative to population. The quality and quantity of health, education and security has left tens of millions of human beings refugees and displaced persons. In many cases, the slow decline of infant mortality from death and death from preventable epidemic diseases has been worsened. The slow decline of infant mortality and death from preventable epidemic diseases has been reversed. In many cases, unemployment and underemployment has been worsened. It does not mean that we do not understand the problems which are facing us, but I think we have a problem in leadership. Because 10 years after that declaration, I was waiting to evaluate and see whether these remarks were put into consideration, and if at all they were put into consideration, the people took the initiative to evaluate their progress. It's not acceptable in Africa and other places. But it is a routine of our leaders, not only in Kenya, but even in Africa and other regions where people just assume things may happen. In one of his books called The Trouble with Nigeria, Chinua Achebe is saying that one of the commonest manifestations of underdevelopment is the tendency among the ruling elite to live in a world of make, believe, and unrealistic expectations. And this is a cargo cart mentality that anthropologists sometimes do speak about. A belief by backward people that someday, without their exertion whatsoever on their own part, a ship will just dock in the harbor, loaded with every good things they've ever dreamt of possessing. And so, what most of the leaders does is to cover their incapacitation. They make sure that they make noise. They keep on making noises and accusing other people, pointing fingers at other people. I don't know, it is a trend, but this is how they do to cover their incapacitation. And what happens? There's a tug of war between those people who believe that they can change the lives of many and those who believe that they can continue oppressing us. They play very well organized games to make sure that the poor may keep on worshipping them. And this has been the trend from time immemorial. According to Ngugi wa Thiong'o, our lives are a battlefield on which is fought continuous war between forces that are pledged to confirm our humanity and those who are determined to dismantle it. There are those who strive to build a protective wall around it, and those who wish to bring it down. There are those who seek to mold it, and those who are committed to breaking it up. There are those who aim to open our eyes so that we can see the light and tomorrow, and those who aim to lull ourselves to sleep. Most of these people who are against the well-wishers are the oppressors, and they have controlled almost everything. It is a war between those who are willing to open our eyes and those who are committed to make sure that we do not benefit. And we are so unlucky because the oppressors have taken control of almost everything. To fight oppression is not a simple thing as people think, because even those who are committed to fight for the poor are in most cases overwhelmed by the rich, who are in many cases who are the oppressors. In one of his essays, Chinua Achebe once said that oppression does not automatically produce meaningful struggle. It has the capacity to call into a wide range of reactions, ranging from partial acceptance and violent rebellion. But he continues and tells us that, and he continues and says that to fight oppression with appropriate resistance requires knowledge of two kinds, which means the knowledge that the victim understands that oppression is there. Number two, you must know your enemy's real names, not pseudonym or alias. This may not be so easy even if you know your enemies. And for us, I think our leaders are enemies. Sorry to say this. So what we do, the few who have courage to confront or to try to change the human conditions, may be very few. According to Erik Erikson, our personality traits always exist in opposite. You either feel optimistic or pessimistic. You can either be dependent or independent. You can either be emotional or non-emotional. There are those who feel you can either be cautious or adventurous. There are those who believe they must live to be followers, but there are those who believe that they can be leaders. There are those who are very active and those who are very passive. And many of these are inborn temperament traits, but other characteristics of either feeling competent or inferior appears to be learned according to the challenges we face. And many of these inborn temperament traits, but other characteristics of either feeling competent or inferior appears to be learned depending on the challenges we see or the support we face as we grow up. So we will find some people will just assume and say, let's just accept and be led with whatever we are being led. But some will push and say, okay, I can be a leader. Let me try to see whether I can change. Or rather, let me see whether I can bring any change to the community. In many cases, people point fingers at the government or rather the ruling party, but this is not ideal. For Jubilee government to achieve, it is a comprehensive effort for both those who are in opposition and those who are in the government. But for many years, people have been misled and lied to by those leaders who feel that women fail to deliver their promises to their people, that it is the government. There's nothing like government failing. It is a comprehensive effort between both those people who are in opposition and those who are in government. It does not matter which party. Whether a leader, when you are a leader, you are a leader. And so the excuses of saying of and so the achievement of Jubilee government depends on all the leaders. Opposition may fail if at all it politicizes issues which it does not need politics, or rather it may collude with the ruling party or the coalition to pass some policies or bills which do not favor people, and or rather it may fail to keep government in check. I want to give you a very good example of how opposition can fail the government. When His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta was issuing title deeds to the coastal people, some politicians wanted to politicize that thing. It's an irony. It is an irony, bearing in mind that for many years, the land issues in the coastal regions has been used as a platform to penetrate the coastal region politics. It will be not so easy, because now what many people used to penetrate into it was almost brought into standstill or evacuated completely. And so this is how opposition can fail the government, because I believe if the politics, if those politics were effective, then the Jubilee government could not have achieved one of its major promises it had promised to people. You see, when people believe that it is only them who can do some things, many people, especially the poor, suffer. The former USA ambassador to Kenya, Michael Renneberger, may be known by many people due to his connection with WikiLeaks. But I remember one day he saying that when a political class, whether leaders in the government or in opposition, consistently puts his tribal, family, or personal interests first, the governance will automatically fail. And this is what we've been seeing. So some people feel that they cannot support the government because they may appear weaker, or those issues which the government is trying to solve may be solved, and they may find it not easy to penetrate to people to seek for election. It is very, very bad for an elected leader to mislead people. I see any person who give wrong information to the public is the same as who give hate speech. There's no difference, because whatever these people say to the public is what public say, because they have influence of it. You see, they have total influence. I want to tell you about one person by the name of Frederick Douglass. This man was an African American social reformer, an orator, and a writer, and a man who was very much against slavery. He once said that where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, where ignorance prevails, and where anyone's class is made to feel that a society is an organized conspiracy to oppress, to rob, or to degrade them, it is neither persons, neither properties will be saved. And this was the case before 2007 and 2008 skirmishes. People are meant to believe that there are those people who have been consistently oppressing them, and it was unfortunate. In the last elections, or in the last campaigns, some people still repeating the same things by accusing some people of, I don't know, grabbing lands, I don't know, many things anyway. I do not believe you win elections by criticizing other people. Elections are won by clearly giving people your policies and how you knock off them. Because some things about or against other people is what you see. Is what is bringing all this problem and hatred to the people.